Hello, and welcome back to the Spoiler Cast, the show where we talk about movies and we don't care about spoiling them. With me as always is, my name is Tobias, and with me as always is my sister and trusted co-host, Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello, and just want to say sorry for last week. We didn't record an episode. We were going to do an episode on Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I guess we'll talk maybe a little bit about that in the Patreon episode, which is a perfect opportunity to tell you. Check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. I was, once again, without internet for a few days, because I was switching ISPs, because I was being without internet for so many times before. But now I'm back, I have internet, I've been able to watch movies, and we're now able to record. So today, we're going to talk about a new movie. Yes. A new Netflix movie.
Yes. It did go on theaters in America, I think.
Yes, because, it's a David Fincher movie, and he, of course, wants, show it in theaters and be eligible for Oscars.
But I don't think it did in Sweden.
No, not at all.
No.
So, yeah, I guess you can already guess. We're talking about The Killer. Yeah, the latest movie from David Fincher, legendary author, director of such classics as Fight Club, Zodiac.
Trying to figure out what he's done.
No, he's done a bunch
Zodiac,
of stuff.
Social Network.
7, yeah.
Gone Girl.
Yeah. Producer and, occasional director on the show Mindhunters on Netflix.
Oh.
Yeah, never watched it though, because it's a TV show, so I don't watch it. No, but I actually looked through it because I was writing my review on Letterboxd. If you want the really short version of this, you can just check it out on Letterboxd. And I was like, because I was trying to compare, where does this land in his oeuvre? And I realized I have seen every one of his movies except for 2, and that's Mank, his latest movie, before this, which was also a Netflix movie, because I thought it felt like a technical gimmick, the whole thing, so I skipped it. And also I wasn't very interested in the subject matter, even though it was a Fincher movie. I was like, nah, I'm gonna skip it. And then I haven't seen The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, because I saw the Swedish original version, and I was like, nah, I don't need to watch the other one.
Yeah.
You've seen Fight Club and stuff, but have you seen more David Fincher movies? I know you've seen Alien 3.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through, older stuff. It's a lot of music videos, so I'm not going to go further down.
No. You can start by Alien 3 is his first movie. Before that, he didn't do any movies, so. Right,
so yeah, Alien 3, obviously. I think I've seen 7, but I don't remember, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
And, yeah, Fight Club. I don't know if I've seen much else.
Okay, really?
I don't think I've never finished Zodiac. I've started it, but never finished it. Never wanted to watch Benjamin Button. Never wanted to watch Social Network. Same with Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I saw parts of the Swedish one and went, not for me. I've seen some of his music videos and shorts, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I've seen the music videos. Yeah.
I've seen enough of Gone Girl to know what happens, but I haven't seen the entire film.
You haven't seen Gone Girl?
I know, we've said that before,
Good. We should watch that at some point.
It's definitely on the list.
Yeah.
Actual list. Same with Panic Room. I've seen enough of it, but I've not finished it properly.
Okay.
So I have a lot of I've seen bits and pieces, but I've only seen a few of his actual movies, full length, all of it, watched it properly. But now I've watched The Killer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Panic Room is one of those that people don't like.
I think I confused Panic Room with another one as well, because I've seen both of them. Now? There's 2. Huh?
Do I sound do I sound louder now than before?
Not particularly, no.
Okay, I was just looking kind of... whatever. Sorry. Technical difficulties. I think it's better now, at least. Anyway.
I think that I keep confusing Panic Room with another movie, but I've seen both of them, or parts of both of them, which is why I'm confusing them. But I have seen parts of Panic Room, yeah.
Yeah, Panic Room was always one of the people, it's a step down, because it was right after Fight Club, which is the big, the legendary one.
Yeah.
But I always enjoyed Panic Room. It's It's like one of those thrillers where people have to like figure out a way to get out of a situation. It's all confined to like, well, a room mostly,
a little bit of an apartment or a house or whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
I enjoyed it, and it has Fincher's telltale like style, so I enjoy that one. And in general, I enjoy him. I think he's like one of the better directors working. I mean, even his like worst movies, well, Benjamin Button, is still like well made. And when he's like at his best, he is fucking great. So I was looking forward to The Killer, especially since I'm also a fan of like contract killer assassin movies. It's just like it's one of those guilty pleasures. Like
I love that
if the
genre.
movie is about an assassin, like I'm gonna watch it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And,
which we will discuss more on Patreon as well.
Yeah, we're going to discuss another Netflix assassin movie, and just assassin movies in general, I guess.
Yes, because I have so much to say.
Okay, yeah. Spoilers, we're going to talk about Kate, that came out like 2 years ago or
something like that, yeah.
Yeah. But for now, we're going to talk about The Killer. Jesus, we've gone on for 6 minutes already. And I'll start by this then. What did you think of The Killer?
Don't hate me, but I thought it was kind of boring.
And I can't say anything but I agree.
Oh, thank God.
I was
afraid you were going to be like, this is like one of the best movies I've seen this year. Like, dude, this kind of sucked. It didn't suck, but like it didn't suck. It was so... I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to explain it. It's like uneventful almost. Even though a lot of things happen, it's so uneventful.
I agree. It was like, it's not a bad, it's very well made, except for some things which I want to talk about. Like on a technical level, and like I said, that's always David Fincher's thing. He's super meticulous and very, very detail-oriented when he directs. Like, he will shoot a scene like 100 times over. Kind of like Kubrick was.
Perfect.
Yeah. And use like, precise movements. And I mean, I remember there's like a behind-the-scenes thing from Gone Girl that Ben Affleck talked about. Because it was his first time working with David Fincher. And he'd heard about him being like super autistic about details. So... during break, he walked up to one of the cameras and literally moved like the focal length or the focus ring like less than a millimeter, just nudged it.
Not technically even like a full notch, basically.
No, not at all. And they were about to shoot, and Fincher was like, "Hold on! Someone's messed with my focus on the second camera. Can we fix that?" And he's like, "Okay, all right."
Anyone else would not have noticed it, but he did.
Yeah, exactly. It was like testing him. And that's like that. I guess that comes from him being like a music video director, where everything is about details. Because you have to, it's all about the visuals. The visuals have to be correct. Perfect. Basically. Yeah.
To represent the music and the artist and the message and all that stuff.
Yeah, in like 4 minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So I can see why he really wanted to make this graphic novel into a movie, because it's all about details.
Yes.
It's all about the method that the killer uses to do his job. And I like I said, I like assassin movies. I like that kind of stuff. I've been an avid fan of the Hitman video game series like since its beginning.
Oh yeah,
I was way too young to play the game. Yeah, you weren't even. No, you were born. Sorry,
but Hitman has been a part of my life, my entire life, because of you. Even though I've never played the games.
No, yeah, sure, yeah. And that is also all about being very methodical, being very detailed, everything your plans laid out for you, so you can just execute everything according to plan.
Yeah,
love it. However, that's super fun in a video game, where you're rewarded with a mission successful in the end.
Yeah,
and you're sitting there, you're waiting for the right moment to do the thing, and put the poison there, move the rope over there. It's like
you get full completion, 100% correct kind of thing.
Yeah, silent assassin, suit only. Yeah.
Yeah.
As a movie, you're just watching it.
Yes.
And you have no control over it, which makes it very boring.
Very tedious to watch.
Yeah, it does. I mean, like I said, I enjoy it to some extent, but at some point, a movie needs to have. It should be a roller coaster. It should be, ups and downs. Like, now it's super exciting, now it's kind of boring, then it gets exciting again.
Yeah.
This is just a flat line.
See, the thing is, though, it could work, but there's one major flaw in the beginning that just scraps the entire thing for me.
Okay, let's hear it, because I might agree with you, because I also have the beginning is a big problem for me.
We don't know how good the character is.
Exactly!
Because we never see him succeed.
Exactly!
It starts with him failing, which just makes me think that he's just a terrible hitman.
Yeah, the only way we know that he's good is that he tells us.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
some people react to
narration.
him like, "Oh, you're such a good person. How did you fail this time?" Yeah, but that comes like halfway through the movie. We don't know that anyone else thinks he's great. We just think he knows or he thinks he's great.
He fucked up the simplest of jobs, which is just waiting for a guy to appear in the window, then shoot him.
Also, like, he has the guy in his sight like 5 times, and in any other movie, the assassin would have just nailed it. Somehow, he waits a second too long and she stands up and he shoots her instead.
I know.
I'm sorry, what kind... It feels like something like... This is gonna sound stupid. Like, even I could do better, like,
Well, they are playing it like he can't really see his face properly. It's always half obscured by, like, a window. Sure,
but when he sits
something.
down on the couch, it's perfect,
Yeah,
and then she stands up, and it's like he waited a second too long.
Yes.
And when any other movie, that would have not been an issue.
Yeah.
Because he's right there. So annoying.
That is so true. Because for all his, like, oh, I've killed 1,000 people, I'm very meticulous, I have a set of rules that makes me never fail, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
do this, I don't give a fuck. All that, and yeah, we never see those rules work for him.
No. The first shot we see him take is a fail.
Yeah, he fails. Which
that just makes me think he's like hyping himself up. Like he's so self-centered, thinking he's the best dude ever, and he's
a fucking loser.
Yeah.
He's like one of those like Sigma guys on YouTube. Like, oh, I am the fucking best. I get up at 5:30 and do 6 million push-ups, and then I shower for half an hour, and then I know a lot of people have mentioned that, like, this is like the ultimate Sigma male grind set.
What's his
like
name?
Meme.
American Psycho dude.
Yes, exactly.
But assassin style, not psycho killer, assassin style.
Well,
sure.
Yeah. And that's so interesting because every other hitman movie or a contract killer always starts with them, it starts mid-work just like this does.
Yes.
But then it shows how fucking slick and good they are at their job.
At least succeeding.
Yeah, at least once, yeah. Just so we know that this is the hitman, the contract killer, the most dangerous man alive. And it's after that the cracks start to appear. He misses because, feelings got in the way.
Yeah.
Usually that's the thing. Or, the toll of killing hundreds, maybe thousands of people has made him suicidal, which is like, I don't know if you've seen the show Barry on HBO.
No.
It's actually, for speaking of TV shows, that's actually a good one. I haven't seen all of it, but it is good.
Barry as in the name Barry, or Barry as in berries? Fruits,
the name,
berries?
Barry.
Okay.
B-A-R-R-Y. It's Bill Hader as a contract killer.
Oh.
Who starts, he starts like taking acting lessons to become an actor. It's actually very funny.
Okay.
I haven't finished
very
it. Very
random, but sure.
Yeah. Or like there's an old movie from like 2006 or 7 or something with Michael Keaton before he had his renaissance a few years later called The Merry Gentleman, which is also a movie about a hitman who is suicidal because all his life is about killing, so he's about to jump off a roof when he sees a woman who's about to kill herself, so he stops himself to save her, and they become in love.
Of course, love saves them.
Yeah, but then in the end, his past comes to haunt him and he has to kill again.
Is always part of Assassins.
Yeah, classic hitman stuff, and that's what you want to see, The
Yes.
cold, calculated killer having a human moment, which makes him, easier to relate to, being redeemable even though he's an evil man. And ultimately, sacrificing himself for the greater good. Redeeming himself.
Yes.
It's classic stuff. But it works so well, especially for the assassin stereotype.
It's the morally grey hero kind of thing, which every book lover fucking loves.
Yes, it's the best. That
and it works in movies
too. Old grizzled warrior who was like, I'm retired, I'm done killing, but I have to go out one more time. That's also a classic one. I love that one. It's the reluctant hero. Yes, exactly. Love it. And I thought this was maybe not be exactly that. I thought since it is David Fincher, it was going to be very methodical, but something would go wrong, and he would use all of his autistic detail stuff to right that wrong. But instead he fucks up, and instead of like, I'll get the mission done, whatever it takes, boss, he just fucking leaves.
He's runs away.
Fuck this. Goes home to, Dominican Republic.
Yeah, I think so.
A few days later, because he's being followed by someone. And then it turns out, he's not like this, which also like just clashes with the character. He's not this sad, lonely guy who lives alone in a $1 million mansion,
or a New York penthouse or something.
Yeah. No, he has I don't know, girlfriend, whatever, partner, who
Friends.
obviously has a family that knows about him, because, her brother is at the hospital. Yeah. Because it turns out, since he botched the job, his employers sent some people to basically erase any traces of this botched assassin attempt, including then erasing the assassin and his family.
Well, so specifically the assassin, but the girlfriend happened to be there as soon as. Yeah, that's how I understood it, at least.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So she ends up in the hospital, and he's like, "I'm gonna right this wrong. I'm gonna get the people who did this." It's like, okay, so he is human.
Yeah, he has emotions.
Sure, but that comes right in the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and that's also.
So there's no big reveal that later, like, wait, he actually cares about people. That's just okay. So now he's on the most emotional mission of all, revenge.
Yeah.
Okay.
It also doesn't we aren't properly shown their relationship being super affectionate and because honestly, the way he reacted, I thought it would be like, I don't know, a sister maybe or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he sees her in the hospital, he was so cold, I guess, that it's just like, does he really care? Or is this just pride?
Yeah, and we'll get to that, but we have to kind of go through the plot.
Sure.
But
it just that straight away, another mistake almost that made me not care about the movie. But then, he goes on this journey.
Yeah, so he first goes to see his employer, the lawyer.
Yeah.
The movie is cut up into chapters for each person.
Based on the kill.
Yeah. By the way, spoilers, because we're just going to go through the plot now.
Yeah.
Because we kind of have to, because it informs. So it informs what little we get to know about the character.
Yeah. So we need to talk
about the character. We have to talk about the plot, because there is no character development at all.
No.
So if you don't want to hear any spoilers,
check out the movie first.
Yeah, I give it a 5 out of 10. It's on Netflix, so whatever, watch it. But I wouldn't pay money for this. I'm sorry.
That's funny.
I never thought it would say that about a Fincher movie.
Chris Stuckman.
Yeah.
Was like, I watched his review of it, and he went, "If you can, please watch this in theaters." I was like,
yeah, I know.
No,
honestly, no. Watch something else in theaters, dude.
Yeah, watch this on Netflix. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to do something while you're watching it, because you're not gonna be entertained.
No.
I literally had to be. I had The Sims open building, because I couldn't just look at it. It took me 3 attempts to get through it.
Yeah, I fell asleep the first time watching it.
I honestly just went, nah, paused it, and walked away.
Yeah, it was early morning, and I was off work, so I had no end. I was just it was probably the wrong time to watch it anyway.
But still.
Yeah, but if a movie's good, it would keep me awake. But I just fell asleep. and had a weird waking up throughout it when there are like bursts of sound. The fight in Florida.
Oh yeah.
One of them. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like weird
yes,
dreams
and we need to talk about
the sound going.
as well. Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Yeah,
but yeah, in general, it's a mid. It's fine. It's mid. It
is fine. Yeah, with a lesser director, this would have been garbage.
Oh yes, I still appreciated like you said, the directing is great.
Fassbender is amazing as a cold psychopath. He's always good.
I'm not a huge fan of him, but he did good.
Okay.
All of the other actors do. I have no problem with that. It's the writing, I think, that is the issue here.
Yeah.
But yes.
So
we get to the I think it's New York where the lawyer lives.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because the flight attendant goes, "Oh, going home?" He's like, "Not yet."
Yeah. So he goes to his employer, and we find out in one exposition line that his professor, when he was in college, which was I assume is this Hodges guy.
Yeah. Saw potential, I guess.
Yeah, convinced him to like stop studying law and go into the assassin business.
Which is such a weird...
Yeah, we're like, hey, can we dive a little deeper into that?
Like, how do you as a lawyer, a law professor, recruit assassins?
Was it because he saw that the guy was like...
Meticulous?
Ooh, you're super cold, hard, you're cold and calculated, you're like a shark, they say sometimes about a lawyer.
All they do is see red.
Yeah, but this guy is even colder. Like he could make like serious money, basically killing people, and I'll cover the tracks for you or whatever. I don't know.
But what college professor?
That would be interesting if we knew something about that, but we don't.
What college professor like sidekicks as a fucking assassin for hire person agent dude?
Well, comic book.
Sure.
Yeah. So he goes there to find out why, and it turns out, it was just we were just scrubbing everything. You fucked up, so we were getting rid of all the evidence, which includes you. Sorry for the mistake, but it's your fault for fucking up, basically. It's like, all right, that's part of the business, but we can understand why he gets angry at it.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I also understand why it's part of the business, to be honest.
Yeah.
Seen enough of movies for that.
Yeah, he kills the professor or the lawyer, whatever. His assistant helps him to find the names of the two people who went to the Dominican Republic. Well, first he finds out from the taxi driver, Leo?
Oh yeah. I forgot about him.
Yeah, that he picked up two people from the airport, the private airport.
Yeah.
And they were coming in from New York. He was like,
So he's like, okay, I'll go check with the people in New York.
And he kills Leo. That was the first time. He didn't do anything wrong.
He doesn't understand anything either. All he knows is this white dude
drove there. Yeah.
is obviously mad about people I drove who obviously did something bad. I don't know who they are. I don't know who you are. I will forget you, or I won't be able to tell anyone at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he gets a shot in the head.
Yeah, and that was the first one. I was like, okay, so maybe he's like, because that's where you think, where his humanity is going to show through, like, maybe Leo will, I need to get rid of all the evidence. I should kill Leo, but my humanity will come through now that I'm on a more emotional, personal mission. But no, he shoots him.
Yeah.
Then he kills his professor, the lawyer. The assistant decides, like, I can help you. Just please, if you're gonna kill me, make it look like an accident so my kids get my life insurance money. And he's like, I'll bring you along. It's like, oh shit, so now, okay, here it is. Here's him, like, softening, basically.
Yeah. Which,
shows that he is, deep down inside, he is a good man, even though they've already shown that, but then negating it by killing Leo.
Yeah.
So they go to her house. There's the Rolodex method to find out who and what mission and whatever. And then you're like, oh, he's going to leave her here. No! Then he snaps her neck. Makes it look like an accident, though. I guess that's
makes it look like she fell down the stairs.
Yeah. So, okay, so we kill her as well. Now he goes for the first guy. There's two people who went and hurt his girlfriend, partner, whatever.
Yeah.
He goes to Florida for the first guy, the Brute. That's where we have the worst fucking fight scene I've seen in a while.
And honestly, the worst fucking sound editing I've ever heard, I think.
Yes, I don't... And people specifically pointed out, like, the sound design is interesting in this movie. It's like, is it?
Parts of it, sure.
Yeah, but
there are parts in the beginning, but that scene is terrible. That sounds like, honestly, other parts as well. Sounds like something you make at home when you make a YouTube video.
It sounded like you had one microphone hanging like in the ceiling and just recording like room tone.
Yeah,
it was all like the voices were coming from another room. And like the bass was turned up way too high.
Yeah,
so it was all like.
And they forgot to like.
Yeah, to EQ it.
Yeah.
The balance was all off. Yeah. And it didn't help that all the soundtrack is just sounds.
Yeah.
Like there's no there's music. They keep playing the Smiths all the time. But the soundtrack, the score by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, I like noise, but this was just noises. There's not even
it's not noise
soundtrack.
Music.
Yeah.
It's noise.
And very bassy, which doesn't help when they're running around, and every step they take in that house was like...
Especially the big guy. It's like they emphasized his steps. You know, like when you meet like the giant bad guys in a video game?
Yeah.
Especially like scary video games, and they like it's supposed to make like the floors vibrate kind of thing.
Yeah, it's Jurassic Park, the T-Rex.
Yeah, basically, or like any of the the brutes in video games where you have to like they're extra hard to kill.
Yeah,
that's what he was. He was a brute from a video game.
Yeah, he's literally called a brute. Yeah,
sure, but like literally, he was in Spider-Man, the guys who are like big and buff, and you have to have
rhino. Yeah.
Two of the attention bar thingies to be able to do a finisher on them.
yeah. I hear you've been playing Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah, but also the fact then that it's not even that it's just like very heavy when everyone walks around. It's also that it almost sounds like the sound is peaking. Like I would go the sound peaks there.
It's like
crackles.
They forgot to do the noise cancelling and the bass and treble editing that we always do in the end.
Yeah, exactly. To remove some of that. Now that's going to be fucked up because I screamed, but anyway.
Yeah.
It just sounds awful. It for me, it started sounding like, is this supposed to be like one of the characters are deaf and we're supposed to hear from them? Because it all sounds like someone who can't hear like the middle or upper register and only hears the bass sound, which usually is when you're deaf, because it's more of a, you can feel the beat.
I imagine afterwards I realized maybe it's supposed to like mimic his, when your heartbeat goes up and you start getting like annoyed or nervous or adrenaline pumps and it's, it muddles with your hearing. But it doesn't make sense, really.
No.
For that to be the reason.
Doesn't really come back. I guess that's because he never gets into a situation like that. But
it doesn't,
if it's just one scene, then it annoying.
Needs to be something that they've explored earlier, at least shown us somehow. Like him having, I don't know, whenever he looks at his watch, because, it beeps whenever his heart rate goes up.
Yeah.
If it would have had, like, a similar effect then or something.
And we heard the boop, boop.
Yeah, like
sometimes.
him reacting to it, or he can like, oh shit, I can, whatever. Then we know that that's a reaction that he gets, which is why he's monitoring his heartbeat or something.
Yeah,
but we don't.
Guess there is a detail whenever he puts his earbuds in. It does sound. You get that sound, like that crunching sound, or whatever you want to call it. What did you get when you actually put earbuds in your ears? Because it's very close to your eardrum.
Yeah. But that's only when he has headphones in. He wasn't wearing headphones here.
No, I know, but I'm kissing like that's the only time. Otherwise, they kind of manipulate sound.
Yeah, but that's like in Baby Driver, when it's just so we understand that he's listening to music.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not the same.
No, I know, and it was very annoying, and also annoying. Like some of the shots in there. First of all, it's very
dark,
badly choreographed. I guess it's supposed to be more like a I don't know what you call it. Like it's in Swedish, I guess you would call it like a gris fight. It was just not too like martial artist. It's not John Wick versus there's just two guys punching each
It's
other.
brawl, literally.
Yeah, a brawl. Yeah, exactly, a brawl. Holmgång. Yeah. But it was also very, very quickly edited, and we know now, like, that's how they used to edit fights back in the day, because it was used to hide whenever flaws
punches,
in the choreography.
basically. Yeah.
And nowadays we have like professional choreographers doing fights, like in John Wick or Atomic Blonde or any movie really.
Yeah. Also, we can edit stuff in other ways to make it look better. Like we can fake it better.
Yeah, but here it just felt like we'll just edit around the bad stuff, and it made it look like a fight scene from the 90s.
Yeah, and it was also very dark. Like I understand
Very
it was
dark.
middle of night.
Yeah.
But it still made. There's one point where I did not understand what happened at all. All of a sudden, the brute is falling down and like in pain. It's like I saw a table being upside down, but I can't understand. I honestly thought he like impaled his butthole or something.
I think he did.
No, but then he pulls it out and it's sharp.
Yeah.
The leg has been broken off, so I think it just hit like the thigh or the cheek.
Maybe, but then we see, it could be the cheek, but it's kind of funny that he sat down on the table.
Yeah, but I thought it was like intact. I didn't think it was a broken piece of wood.
Oh, God.
It's like, that's a weird detail to write into a movie.
Yeah, and then he's bleeding. He's bleeding. You can see him bleeding through his shorts. It was gross.
Yeah.
It was like, ugh. And any sort of butthole injury is just like, that's gonna fuck you up for life.
Yeah.
So I was almost glad when he died. It's like, oh, he doesn't have to wear a diaper for the rest of his life.
It's such a strange injury to put in a movie. Like,
Yeah.
it's effectful, I guess, but it's more effectful to see like the flesh wound on his thigh, you know?
But do you know why I think that is? I think because it is a comic book, and it was like I'm gonna do a really gross injury because it's edgy and gross.
Yeah, but you
That's
could
what I
rewrite that for a movie, though. You could have
Yeah.
changed it to impale his thigh instead. But his leg was already injured also, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that would have been double kill. It would have been bad.
Yeah. But anyway, the fight goes on. And at some points, it looks like the characters are CGI. Did you notice that?
No, not really. But I think it's because I just was annoyed. I could barely focus because of the sound, to be honest. That really threw me off.
Yeah, I hated it.
And it was very dark, so I just went, this is so weird.
Also, whatever, it's a fight scene. He's gonna win in the end and leave.
Yeah.
This doesn't really forward the plot. Well, I mean, technically it does, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's not interesting enough. We just need to know that he wins.
And also,
Bye-bye.
like, it didn't feel fair at points, because this brute was huge. It was like, the only thing I cared about was, how the fuck is he gonna win?
Yeah.
Because this guy, it doesn't matter how many times you hurt him, he just gets back up.
Yeah. And he only managed to win because he got the gun again. Otherwise, he would have died.
Yeah. Because the killer, honestly, is like floundering the entire fight.
Yeah, I know. That's actually, and I guess that is showing that he's
human.
Not. Yeah, because he is kind of a Mary Sue. He never fails, other than the first time. But that's also a problem. He fails the first time and never after that.
Yeah, exactly.
Which makes it feel like he's kind of infallible. And he's perfect in every sense of the way. He can predict when anyone's trying to backstab him, with Tilda Swinton later on.
Yeah.
This is the only time we're like, shit, he might not make it. That's the only time. And
but
I guess
he gets like a little bit of bruise in his face and like a cut on his forehead.
Yeah.
And he walks away.
Other than that, everything he does just works. Yeah. It's bad. But we're jumping in. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
So he kills the brute. It's kind of funny because they have this huge fight where everything sounds like a nuclear explosion whenever when everyone walks around. And the guy has a guard dog which he drugs with some NyQuil and meat. Yeah, sleeping pills. Fine, that's the classic. It's
we've seen that before.
What you do in video games. Yeah.
Yes.
In movies. But then the dog is then completely knocked out for the entire fight until he shoots the guy with a silenced gun. Then the dog wakes up like, I heard that silenced shot. Not the brawl going on before.
They do preface that a little bit, because he mentions, like, this much should be enough for the average pit bull weighing about 45 to 55, whatever.
Oh, so it actually woke up at that point?
Yes, because...
Sure enough. But it was
this dog was probably a little bit heavier, so he didn't put it into such a deep, or like a long enough sleep for him to get out. Also, this took longer than he anticipated. it's not properly told. It's only if you connect that tiny little detail that he mentions once before he feeds the dog. Because he tries to feed the dog once, and the dog just doesn't care.
Eat it, yeah.
And then the second bite it takes.
Good dog, yeah.
Which is like, was the dog supposed to eat both of them for the time to be long enough? Or what if you overdose the dog by giving it both of them? He mentions just then, when he's throwing the meat, that, oh, this should be enough, or I could kill it if I overdose it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very vague.
It's a funny detail that the dog finally wakes up when he shoots him with the silencer.
Perfect timing.
Oh, okay.
Good dog, though, for going and check on the owner first and then going, fuck you.
That was the first time during the fight that I was like, ooh, how is he going to make this?
Yeah, I was like, ooh,
you
exciting.
can't fight off a dog. It'll just lock down on your arm and you're stuck.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, he has to run now, and that's what he does.
Unless he shoots it, which he doesn't.
No, and which is like, oh, that's the only one, that's the only person he doesn't kill, yeah.
Both good and bad, because I almost thought this kind of dude would kill a dog, but I hate when they kill dogs in movies, so.
Me too, yeah, but this would be the perfect time to do it, to show that he is a super psycho, you know.
And he's hell-bent on his mission, he doesn't care if it's a dog or a kid or a human getting in the way, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But well, I mean, he does blow up the house.
Yeah, but the dog will be fine.
Sure. He'll just run around the fire being, Because that also, I don't understand why he blows up the house.
I think it's just to cover his tracks.
I mean, they're still gonna find a bullet hole, probably.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, yeah. Doesn't really make sense, but whatever, I guess.
I guess it gets rid of his evidence, because there's no fibers from him left. They're all burned up, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, if there's any blood left from him, that'll burn up.
Yeah.
Because I don't think blood survives fire.
No.
Maybe that. But then he goes on to Tilda Swinton, which is also New York. So I don't think the lawyer was in New York. That might have been somewhere else.
Okay, maybe I'm mixing them up.
Yeah. He goes to meet her because she's the other one who went over there to kill him.
Very strange pairing. In my opinion.
I get the feeling she's like him, the super meticulous one who maybe uses poisons and sniper rifles. And, they made her bring backup, which was just a big burly guy. Because he talks about him like, oh, that oaf, that brute, or whatever she calls him.
But it still feels kind of odd. Like, it's not her personal bodyguard or anything. He was just a random dude, it felt like.
Yeah. Yeah, it was someone they hired. He was a gun for hire.
Yeah.
Or muscle for hire. But yeah, so he corners Tilda Swinton, or the specialist, I think they call her.
Yes, the specialist.
In a restaurant.
Fancy restaurant.
Very fancy restaurant. Even though it's not New York City, it's New Jersey, I think. But still.
Yeah.
As fancy as you get in New Jersey. She says, it's the best food, even better than the city. I was like, yeah, not in New Jersey. But anyway.
Sorry.
Yeah, and he says basically nothing. She tells a really long, bad joke for some reason, which...
Oh yeah, the one about the hunter and the bear?
Yeah.
I don't really get that one. I didn't understand what she was trying to say.
She is alluding to the fact that since this is, he talks about, he keeps a lot of the narration of the movie is him repeating, like, he repeats the rules, he repeats, like, only pick the fights that profit you.
Yeah.
Which is, none of the fights in this is profiting him in any way. I mean, it emotionally profits him, I suppose, but it doesn't profit him any money. This is all personal. So he is constantly going over the rules to his job, which has made him so successful, and throughout the movie,
allegedly,
yeah, exactly. He is like to some extent breaking them since he is personally involved. It's not a fight he needs to pick. All that stuff. And she then kind of brings that up, and that the joke is, the hunter goes out into the forest, sees a bear, shoots it, goes up to get the bear's gone, and the bear shows up and says, "Ha, you didn't kill me, so now there's two choices. Either I kill you now, or I, rape you or something?"
Yes.
Yeah. So, and of course, the hunter doesn't want to die, so he gets raped by the bear.
Which is so weird.
Yeah.
Only to, get a second chance, I guess?
It's kind of like this. We have a Swedish version of that joke, which is more racist. The Bunga Bunga joke.
I don't think I've heard that.
You haven't heard that? Okay, whatever. It's the same joke, but with African, like, tribesmen and a hunter.
What the fuck?
Anyway, we're not going to talk about that.
No.
The hunter comes back the next day. Yeah.
To try again.
If you want to hear that joke, you can hear it on patreon.com.
Oh my god, okay.
I'll tell it there.
He tries again for some reason.
Yeah, he brings a bigger gun, big elephant blunderbuss rifle, shoots the bear right in the head. Same thing though, no blood, nothing. The bear comes up, oof,
puts his arm around his shoulder like, God damn it.
But I'll give you the same choice. I can kill you or rape you, and he's like, fine, go ahead.
It's just.
And then the third time he comes back with a fucking bazooka, an RPG, and he obliterates the bear. The bear walks up to him and says, once again, you're like, fuck, dude, you missed. I'm getting the feeling you kind of want this. You're not just here to hunt me, are ya? That's the joke. Like, haha, he wants to be raped by the bear.
He's weird, I suppose.
Yeah, and that's... I'm guessing she's alluding to the fact that, yeah, you say you kill for money, but you're not killing for money now. You say it's for revenge, but it's like revenge is the worst reason for anything really. Like,
sure,
revenge is always that's why you say whenever you go for revenge, dig 2 graves because it's not going to work out.
It always ends bad.
She's alluding to the fact that you at this point you're just enjoying the killing. To kind of like, see, I know you, I get you. She's trying to manipulate him or see through his facade, so to speak.
Honestly, I did not understand that.
Okay, that's how I interpret it, at least. And that's why she keeps fucking talking and talking about.
Yeah, that's also
this,
to like drag it out to find the perfect moment for herself to kind of get away.
She drinks the whiskey, and then they get out of there, and he's gonna shoot her by the river, or she says, "So you do it down by the water at least." So they walk over there. She slips on the icy steps, and she's like, "At least help a girl up." And he actually, first you think like, he's gonna reach for her hand, but then he just shoots her.
Yeah.
She stumbles over, and we see, she picked up a knife from her purse. She was gonna kill him. So once again, not being human saved him. It's like, he's perfect at this.
But it also kind of felt like he was just like, you know what, I'm sick of this.
He changed his mind like mid-walk, like, fuck you, and just shoot him. Yeah.
This is taking too long. I'm cold, or something.
Yeah. And then we get to the final guy, which is the guy who originally wanted the assassination
in Paris.
In Paris, yeah.
So
some sort of business guy who I'm guessing is eliminating competition or something. It's the
customer. Yeah.
Exactly, the customer. And, the killer thinks that, of course, the customer must have asked for, like, he failed me. Kill him.
Yeah.
So he goes to the guy, spends, like, a couple of days scoping it out, like, figuring out how to get to him. Which is all,
ordering
that's kind of like Hitman Codename 47 setup shit I like.
Yeah, but ordering a key fob on Amazon?
That's also like, I guess under false name, but they're gonna be able to track you
also,
even that false name.
What multi-millionaire uses a lock that can be hacked by ordering a key fob from Amazon?
Yeah, I wonder about that too, because like,
you dumb?
it's like, I can just get myself a key forging set off Amazon, like. Shouldn't that be illegal? Like, no, I'm just copying for myself. No, that's why, like, in Sweden, you can get copies of keys, but you have to go to a certified person,
but
show, like, ID and stuff. Not just order shit off the internet. I don't know.
This is also, like, an electric lock. So it's like, if you need to, like, if you get locked out, you would probably have to call the company.
Yeah.
And have them send a technician out. Like, I didn't look, but I'm assuming Amazon can't ship that kind of shit everywhere.
I don't know, yeah. It felt a little
But maybe
convenient.
It was a special assassin Amazon or something.
Assassin Amazon, yeah.
You had like the VIP login for assassins only.
Yeah. It was John Wick's assassin. Or Amazon.
Exactly.
Literally called Assassin with Z's.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. No, I don't know. It was kind of convenient. It was a little bit of a convenience, to move the plot along. Yeah, he copies the fob, I suppose.
It would have made more sense if he just, like, I don't know, had a program on his phone and did
exactly.
it. That makes more sense. Spyware,
some sort of, Yeah, exactly. Spyware, some sort of like illegal contract killer app that can, copy fobs. Not order it from Amazon. What?
It's so dumb.
Yeah, whatever.
But he makes his way in.
He makes his way in. I thought we were gonna get a scene where he works out while like stalking the guy. It would be fun to see him just like stand on like a treadmill, like, oh, there the guy is.
Just looking at him, keeping track on him. Yeah. But no, he's just in the locker room.
Yeah, I was like, ah, damn it.
You wanted like fassbender shirtless.
Then he goes up to his penthouse apartment. This is Chicago, by the way. Right.
Oh yeah.
And then the guy's like, oh shit, you're the guy from Paris. Like, listen, like they just called me and told me you failed, and like the standard procedure was to get rid of all evidence, including you. I didn't know what was going on.
I just paid for it.
Yeah. And then he's like, okay.
I think he even said, they said if I paid extra, they would like scrub it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't even know what that entails. He just was told like, we'll clean it up if you pay a bit extra.
Yeah. And then he doesn't kill the guy. It's like, okay. He was only paid for them to hurt his love person. Girlfriend, whatever. Partner, right. Partner sounds so professional. Whatever.
Sure, but whatever. Girlfriend, she's a girlfriend.
Girlfriend, exactly, girlfriend. Lover.
Romantic partner. Michaela or something? By the way, she's one of the few ones that has a name. Magdala.
Magdala?
Yeah.
That sounds like a part of your brain, the amygdala.
No, her name is Magdala. No, Magdala. Magdala.
Okay. Magdala.
Maybe it's a Hispanic version of Magdalena or something. I don't know.
Whatever. Anyway, and he's like, okay, I won't kill you, but, he says something like, oh, if I have to, I'll come back and I'll put some, like, poison in your coffee, or you'll slowly die by, radiation poisoning or whatever. And
he vague threats.
Yeah, vague threats. Like, what? Okay, so this is the one guy you're not gonna kill?
The guy who could literally pay other people to find you and kill you?
Yeah. Okay, like, now you show mercy all of a sudden? Why?
Because this dude didn't know? Or says he doesn't know.
Yeah. But Leo didn't know. The taxi driver didn't know. But he killed him without remorse.
Yeah.
Okay. He killed the fucking, the assistant to his handler, who fucking helped him. Killed her.
And all she wanted to do was like, I'm not going to say anything. I know this line of work. I'm not going to talk. I'm not dumb.
I almost thought they were going to do, like, once again, more, kind of like a Hitman, the video game things, that she was going to become his new handler, become the Diana Burwood character from those games. So they could, they're not going to do a sequel, obviously, because I don't think Fincher does sequels. But, I mean, they could at least, hint at, and so the day goes on, and now, whatever
now
her
she
name
takes
was, she takes care of the business.
Inherits the lawyers, whatever, and takes over.
And he keeps killing, But no, he kills her, kills everyone, saves this guy for some reason.
Client,
the client. Goes back to the Dominican Republic. His girlfriend is better.
Out of the hospital.
Yeah, so they're sitting in his nice house. Funny though, he walks up to her on her left side, which is the eye she can't see out of.
Yeah.
Which is also both dumb, because then she's gonna get scared because she can't see and she's recently been assaulted. But also, it's more awkward for him to walk in between. This is super nitpicky. But it's walking in between the two sun chairs, or whatever it's called, sunbeds.
Yeah.
Why not just serve her on the right side so she can see him approaching and not get scared?
That's a detail that you would, like, in real life, if you lose sight on your left eye, you would pick the chair on the left so that you will sit on with people on your right. Like, it's the same with people who are hard of hearing in one ear. They always make sure you're on the side so that your deaf ear is to the
away
wall,
from the
so
person.
to speak. Yeah.
I've noticed that in myself, because I a bit less hearing in my left ear. Whenever I'm at work and I'm talking to someone, I always, like, turn my body to the left.
Yeah,
the right ear
you
towards
shift.
them. Yeah. Without even thinking about it. Yeah.
Sure, but it's why we usually sit on. You usually sit to the left of me in theaters because it makes more sense from my hearing as well.
Yeah, because it has happened the other way, and I can't fucking hear you when you whisper.
Yeah, exactly. When we switch, it doesn't work out.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just a detail.
That's just very strange that they didn't think of that.
Yeah, but it's
it
also
makes
like
it very unnatural.
It's the classic, which has happened many times before when I talk about nitpicks. When I don't enjoy a movie, I start like Like,
yeah, but it's a weird thing to realize at the very end, because by the end you don't care about nitpicks anymore.
Sure.
It's literally, it's like, that is the last scene. He makes coffee, walks up to her, gives her the coffee, they smile, and then he has a twitch in his eye. At the end.
And he talks about, because earlier he talked about like his philosophy is to try and be one of the few instead of one of the many, because the few always can look down and use the many, basically talking about rich and poor, I suppose.
Yeah.
So he has like a bit of a what's it called? Not socialist, the other one, capitalist view of the world. But then in the end, he talks about, I don't even remember because I wasn't paying attention, but he mentions that he would, like, it's better to try and be one of the many. So, like, okay, so now he's like, it's bad to kill for money, so I won't anymore.
Was that his emotional growth? Was that the character development?
Yeah, and it also ends with him, because it was a big thing they talked about, or at least in the trivia it said, but I'll point out a lot of flaws in that as well, that he never blinks, because, that's a psychopath thing, he doesn't blink, and whenever he's on screen, he doesn't blink.
That up.
But the movie ends with him, you can see behind this, because they film so you can see his eyes, even when he's with his shades on, he actually shuts his eyes, like, he's now calm.
He finally blink.
He finally blinks, yeah. However, he blinks all the time in the movie. No, that's not true. But he does blink. And I know a lot of them are like, those slow where he's maybe like shifting his eyes. But he does blink several times during the Tilda Swinton scene.
Maybe so it's because
if they were going for like, we're gonna cut away at it every time he blinks, so he looks like super psychotic. They failed in the Tilda Swinton scene.
Maybe it has to do with like not feeling as threatened around her, so he doesn't feel like he feels safe enough to blink, I guess, because they're in the setting they are, and the person she's the expert. She's not gonna just burst out and kill him. She's gonna do it methodically, just like him.
But then
again, I shouldn't have to assume this. We've said this millions of times by now. Those kinds of details should have, like, we have a voiceover throughout most of this movie.
Yeah. Mention
shit like that then.
Yeah. Like, it's almost like a little Easter egg, but the fact that they point out that they deliberately never had him blink on screen to make him feel more emotionless. It's like, but that's not true. He blinks all the time. But it's only in that scene though, and I'm thinking like they just couldn't cut around it because it's a long dialogue back and forth scene, so there were times he had to blink. Yeah,
couldn't just not blink.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I know there are actors who genuinely don't blink when they don't have to. Like,
yeah, I know there's some other person.
I can't remember, but I've like
reacted or another psychopath. He never blinks in the movie. Ooh, yeah, and it's true. Makes it feel like it's like shark eyes. They're always open, but they're black. Something like that. Whatever. But I just thought it was funny because I read that because it was also, I was kind of distracting myself. Like, oh, that's cool. He never blinks. And then like 20 minutes later, he was in a Tilda Swinton scene. I was like, blink, 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 blink. What the fuck? Okay.
All wrong. Never mind. I don't care.
Yeah. But yeah, then the movie ends. And I was like, oh, so no emotional growth. All the emotional stuff came in the first like 15 minutes. There's no arc to him. Like, the arc is done when he says, I'm going to avenge my lover. And then he does.
Which he doesn't say outright, does he?
No. But he says, I'm gonna make this right, or something.
Yeah. I think the only time you, like, get any, like, proper reaction or emotion out of him is when he goes through the house, and he's looking at everything. It's not until he sees the window she went through that he goes... He just, like, gasps and then cut to the hospital. And he's like, where is she?
She's hurt. Oh, yeah.
That's the only, like, frazzled moment he has.
But that's also the problem, because we want to get to the point where, he is human, after all. But that should come, like, 2/3 into the movie. And for the final act, yes, he's the human, he's gonna save everyone.
It's like we're missing... It's like we're missing a prologue.
Yeah.
Where we get to know that he is this ultimate assassin perfectionist who never fails and everyone is scared of him. Where we get the whole Baba Yaga story from John Wick kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because even in John Wick, I'm trying to remember now, the first John Wick movie, we don't get to see him kill anyone. The first thing we see is him with the break-in, right?
Yeah, his wife dying, getting the puppy and everything. And you're like...
Yeah, but then, like, the first action scene thing is when his house gets broken into and he gets beaten up.
Yes.
Which would tell us that, he's not strong.
Yeah, but then everyone keeps going like...
rectifying that by other people telling us that he is the monster in the night.
John Leguizamo saying like, where'd you get this car when Alfie Allen comes with the car? And it's like, I stole it from some guys, but it's and then they found out like it was John Wick.
Hold up, that's John Wick's car.
And he's like, he slaps his mafia boss's son, which is what the fuck? And he's like, get the fuck out of here. And then Viggo, Mikael Nyqvist calls him and is like, I heard you slap my sons, but he stole John Wick's car and killed his dog. And they're like,
shit.
It was like,
that's
then
the
it's
thing,
like, I see why you did that. I don't like it, but I see why you did it.
It's everyone else's reaction. It's everyone else telling us that this is the most badass dude ever and you don't want to fuck with him.
Yeah, and you're almost like, what are you, what's like, this sounds like like they're telling us like a story,
He is like the ghost story you tell kids.
Which they say.
Baba Yaga.
You tell a story of Baba Yaga to scare your children, like, Baba Yaga will come and take you in the night.
Yeah.
But then when he actually, I think the first like big action scene is, that's when they go back to his house to kill him and he is ready. Yeah.
Exactly.
And
then he shows straight away that he is.
Yeah, and the second one is at the club with the bathhouse in the basement. It's like, fuck, they build it up.
The issue, the contrast then here is that no one else is telling us that he is this good except for himself. It's only the killer who in internal monologue tells us,
I'm the best. I am
perfect.
A set of rules. Yeah. And the rules failed me in the beginning.
No one else tells us that. We never get to see it.
Yeah.
It's all very...
And I guess it is the journey. The journey for revenge is where we see like, his methods work. But the thing is that he's also breaking his rules by, picking fights that are not profitable.
Yeah.
So...
And also his methods don't always work because he gets brutally beaten down by the brute before you manage to shoot him.
Yeah.
Like, that was not meticulous or by any means. Where was the sniper?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I'm getting the feeling like they want to tell the story of a guy like losing control.
Yeah,
but
I guess
he doesn't really.
Exactly.
And in the end, it is ultimately his rules, even though he does it for the wrong reasons now, not profit but revenge, that do save him. And in the end, he's fine, his girlfriend's fine, and he can relax.
It's like they couldn't really decide on which part to like be the dominant part.
Yeah.
Because either he goes full psycho rampage in the justice on the seek of revenge kind of thing, and forgoes all of his rules, or he follows them to the T and still gets like what he wants, but he doesn't really, because you have unplanned issues, you have like strong reactions to certain things, killing in a non-meticulous way. Like, he could have just sniper shot everyone, basically, or poisoned them.
Yeah.
But no, he decides to put nails into the chest of the lawyer.
I think that he is trying, though, because he wants to get information out of him, so he wants to...
Yeah, but he fails his calculations.
Yeah. You see, that's where his rules fail him. Again, I guess. That's actually, yeah. Okay, fair. But
every single kill is not going according to plan.
Yeah, sort of, yeah. So he's
not the best, obviously.
No.
In my mind.
But he also pulls it off in the end, basically without a scratch.
Sure.
So, and then, fuck all of that, and like, okay, so, he keeps talking about the rules, he keeps talking about, what you have to do, and then he says, in the end, when the movie's over, what are we supposed to get out of it except for just surface level like action entertainment, which we don't really get either because it's all
we don't really
slow.
get this. Really,
like what are we supposed to get out of this as an audience?
Nothing.
There's
nothing to get.
Is there a theme?
There's not even like a moral of the story.
Yeah, or amoral because it's amoral. But yeah, a theme, a moral of the story. We
didn't get the satisfaction of seeing a character transform completely and becoming like the best self or anything.
Yeah, like what do we get out of it?
Nothing.
And that's also something I talked about. I
didn't read your entire review because it was too long, and I pulled it up just as we were starting to record. So
okay, yeah. This is very like the surface level plot is very reminiscent of cheapo like B-C tier action movies. Starring I mentioned Jason Statham or like Scott Adkins. Those cheapo action movies that they're like straight to DVD. 90 minutes. They have like 5 fight scenes, and that's about it. It's a loose frame story frame to just get these 5 fight scenes and like a car chase. And those movies are like they're trash, and they know it. Like it's not high art, but at least they know that, and therefore, and like they don't have like a great story to tell. It's just like I'm gonna kill the persons who killed my father or something,
Yeah.
Or like, oh, they try to kill me, so I'm gonna kill them. It's Steven Seagal shit,
Yeah.
When he was good. This was a long time ago. The 90s.
Old times, yeah.
But at least then those movies have some entertainment value in the action, especially like the newer movies where you have a lot of very well choreographed action scenes, like Scott Adkins, Keanu Reeves. John Wick is basically a big budget version of a B action sleaze movie.
Oh yeah.
This is that kind of story because it's just, oh, my employer's trying to kill me, so I'm going to kill them using the tools they taught me. But we never get any entertaining action scenes. It's just him sitting in cars.
Or interesting character discussions, developments, reactions, or anything.
No, exactly.
It's just a repetition of the same mantra in his head. Like, he barely even speaks in this movie.
Yeah. I find that interesting, though. He doesn't have to speak. So there's a lot of, like, inner monologue. I like that part.
Yeah, but the inner monologue is so repetitive. It gets boring.
Yeah.
The external monologue should have been then the development and the entertainment. But there's not enough of it.
No, but that's what I mean. You don't have a lot of development in those kind of Jason Statham, Scott Adkins movies as well. But at least then we get car chases, fight scenes, explosions. We don't get that here. So if we don't have like a nice, cool, character-driven story, we don't have any themes really. We don't have like something interesting to ruminate about afterwards. And we also don't have any cool action scenes, no car chases, no explosions. I mean, we have one explosion, but it's not cool.
Isn't it? No.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It's like something you do in GTA.
Yeah, like, what are we supposed to get out of this? Nothing. Yeah, there's nothing. There is good cinematography, sometimes. Because honestly, that's another thing, talking about bad editing and stuff. There are moments in this when which is also very new for David Fincher, where you have handheld footage.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be, he's running around and he's supposed to be nervous, so then you have handheld.
Sure.
And sometimes it's obviously some guy running after him with a camera, but then sometimes they obviously have like a locked off shot, either on an arm or like I don't think it's a tripod, but like on an arm or something.
Yeah.
And they have added digital like shakes to the camera, which is, at least for me, super easy to spot.
Yeah, not for me, to be fair, so
okay,
fine.
I noticed it because it was also like in between shots of actual shaky hand cam stuff. So I was like, what the fuck? Why are they fake shaking the camera? Like, why not just pick all handheld stuff or just have locked off shots? Why fake it? It looks fake.
Yeah.
It happens when he's running into his house several times. It's like, it just hurts my eyes. And then it happens sometimes during the fight scene, because that's when we get a lot of handheld as well. Which is also when you kind of see where I thought the characters looked like they were CGI'd sometimes. Because they had the weird kind of video game motion thing to them. It didn't look real. It reminded me of Blade 2, where you have a fight between the vampire assassins and Blade early in the movie, where they at one point cut away from the real fight to have this cool stylized shot where they're all CGI. I mean, that's made in 2002, so you can obviously tell, but it's made to be very stylized. They move almost like comic book characters. There were moments in this fight where it felt like that, and I was like, ugh, I might be wrong. It might just look like it because it was all dark and the fake digital shake on the camera maybe made it look like that, but it looked so weird. It completely pulled me out of the movie.
That was also a thing that the darkness that we mentioned now a few times, because every shot is so dark, because everything takes place at night, basically.
Yeah.
Even like in the hospital, it's very dark.
Yes, the lights keep going out. I guess.
Yeah, but it's to show that it's
country?
like,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's to show that this, because he tries to pay the nurse to like get her a better room, or the doctor, and they then later on like tell us like, yeah, we're gonna transfer her to a nicer hospital. So it's to show that she was rushed, and they just take the closest one, and it's not fully developed, whatever. It's like third world country kind of thing.
Yeah,
but like, could you? There's so many other movies where they're not rich and famous or whatever. And at least there's colors in the movie somewhere. Like, they take place on the streets of fucking Tokyo or something, and they're New York neon signs, or you're in a hotel that has these weird, funky wallpapers. Something. Well, everything is gray here.
That is, I'll defend that, because that is David Fincher's style. His movies are very desaturated and
could we
dark.
have something of interest in this movie? Like, we don't have a fully proper story that works. We don't have interesting characters, really. We don't have pretty pictures, really. Like, I mean, they're pretty, they're nice, they're well made, obviously, but they're all gray. Could we have like a pop of color or something? We don't have great music to listen to. There's nothing really, except for, the meticulous and cool way Fincher films shit, and
the way
good
the
acting.
killer does everything meticulously.
Yeah, and good acting.
But that's cool for like 20 minutes, and then you're like,
exactly.
Is something going to happen now, or is he just going to do the same thing over and over again?
You need stimulants.
Yeah.
A movie's supposed to like stimulate all your senses, basically, except for, I guess, taste and smell.
Yeah.
No, well, I mean, you can have popcorn. If you enjoy the movie, you'll enjoy the popcorn more, you know?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know
there's so much missing here.
Yes, and that is so weird. Like that like I said, I'm sure David Fincher enjoyed the comic book because it is very meticulous. It's basically him,
of course,
when he shoots a movie about a killer. So he's like,
so it's not really instead of a camera, it's a sniper rifle, kind of thing.
But he's also a good enough director and filmmaker to know that a movie needs a 3-act. Not always, but he's still making mainstream movies. You need a 3-act structure. You need the highs, you need the lows, you need a character arc. These are things you need to engage an audience. But no, he doesn't at all.
We don't get it.
And it's kind of funny because this movie still has like good reviews. And I'm not going to say that everyone is this, but I get the feeling a lot of people are like, well, it is a David Fincher movie, so it is really good. It's like, but, maybe if it wasn't a David Fincher movie, would you say that?
It's not even that good for a David Fincher movie.
No.
Really.
I wrote in my
Even
review,
though I haven't seen a lot of his movies, I can tell that this is not one of his best works. Like,
no. I was at one point, because I know this is, he had a 5 or 4 year contract with Netflix, which I guess he signed after Mindhunter, because that was more than 5 years ago, where he was gonna like exclusively make movies for them. And so far he's made 2 now, and I think that the contract runs out last year or next year.
Episode for Love, Death and Robots, which is also a Netflix thing, right?
Oh sure, yeah. So, they say like, oh, this is a passion project. He's wanted to make this for 20 years since the comic book came out. But I also feel like maybe he just did this because he had to make it. They were like, you gotta make another movie. We didn't sign you for 5 years to just make one movie, guy. So he's like, all right, I'll pick this
thing out of you
because it's easy. It's easy to make. Because it also feels like almost like a joke. Like he's like laughing. Someone actually said that. Yeah, right here. Review by Kyle. Gave it 4 stars though. Fincher just straight up laughing in her face at this point. fuck you and fuck your little Wordle too. You know, the joke he makes in the movie.
Oh, yeah. That also was a weird detail. There's a lot of brand mentioning. For some reason.
Yeah.
Like McDonald's, I think they mentioned Starbucks. There's Amazon, Wordle.
Yeah.
So many, like, airlines being mentioned.
Yeah.
So weird.
But I almost think like, yeah, he they were like, you gotta make another movie. He's like, okay, I'll pick the killer because I can make an autistic like scene where I just do the same thing over and over again and nothing happens because I think that's fun. No one else gonna like it, but I find it interesting. So
yeah,
I'll do
they're
it.
not gonna stop me because they just need a movie.
Yeah, exactly. So,
you know what? I mentioned
joke?
it. Yeah, I don't know. I mentioned it when I texted you about it, about this episode, and what I had like a suggestion for the patron.
Yeah.
My phrasing was both about the movie, about Kate and other movies we might talk about, but it was also kind of directed at the killer. It's a cheaper wannabe John Wick kind of movie.
Yeah,
that's what this looked like to me. It looked like, oh, I want to do John Wick, but you know, I gotta make it a little bit different. So, yeah, I'll do this instead. And it looked cheaper and less entertaining. I don't understand how they got Tilda Swinton to be in this.
Because it's David Fincher.
Yeah, I guess.
He's a very prestigious director you want to work with. I understand.
Sure.
And I mean, the one scene she's in. It's all, you know, it's a nice restaurant. She has a lot of like fancy dialogue.
She has fancy clothes.
Yeah,
she doesn't have to run around and get dirty and shit. No, she just slips one time.
And her scene is fun because it's the one time they kind of go into the psychology behind the guy a little bit at least. So if she only read her scene, she's like, oh sure,
yeah, I'll do this.
I get to be in a Fincher movie. I get paid. My scene at least is good. Yeah, I wouldn't.
I have good dialogue.
Yeah,
cool.
And like I said, the movie isn't bad.
No,
so it's not like she like, oh, this movie sucks, but I'm gonna do it for the money. No, I mean,
no.
This is an opportunity for her to work with a good director. I don't hold that against her. I don't hold people who like this movie against it. You know, against them. I just
don't get it.
I don't get it. And I mentioned, in my thing on Letterboxd, that The Killer is probably Fincher's worst movie. Mentioning that I haven't seen Mank or Girl with Dragon Tattoo. But that it still then puts it above most of the trash being produced today. But because it's Fincher, you are expecting more than this.
See, since I haven't seen a lot of Fincher movies, I didn't even think of the fact that this was a Fincher movie.
Okay.
I didn't expect that. I expected
something
action.
More like John Wick, but maybe more reserved?
Yeah, no, not John Wick, obviously. But, you know, a good attempt at a assassin action movie. Nothing's going to top John Wick. No. But I can tell you this much. I watched another movie right after I watched The Killer. I finally finished The Killer, and I went, I need to see other, like, assassin movies to, like, juxtaposition to this and just, like, get other movies in for the discussion tomorrow or whatever.
Sure.
And I watched a Korean one, because it came up in the suggestions.
The Ballerina?
Yes.
Okay, I saw the trailer for it. I haven't seen it yet. Was it good?
We are going to talk about that on the Patreon episode more, but I'm just going to mention that is also like a Netflix low-budget movie. Low budget.
No.
Doesn't have any famous that I know of, because it's all Korean.
Yeah.
I don't know any of the actors or directors or anything. It's a Netflix production. It was way more entertaining than The Killer. It was way more interesting than The Killer. It had so much more going for it.
Yeah.
And I'm 100% gonna recommend you watch The Ballerina over The Killer.
Okay. Just gotta see if we can find the budget for it. Because I don't think this is a cheap movie, though.
No, but it kind of... There's something about it that's cheap.
No, this can't be true. It says... This is IMDb, so we'll take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
It says estimated budget of $175 million.
What the fuck did they put money on?
Yeah, now I'm wondering, because you can make an entire Marvel movie for that, and at least that has, like, more... I mean, it's all CGI, but still, more explosions, more actors.
Yeah. Is that like...
Where did all the money go
went to Fassbender, Swinton, and Parnell?
Yeah.
Because they're the only 3 names that I recognize from this entire production.
Yeah, the only big names. Like, did they split all the money between them? Like, that's insane. It can't be 175...
No. Either way, even if it was a high-budget movie, what the fuck did they put the money on? Because there's nothing in this movie that looks expensive, really.
I have to disagree a little bit. I don't think it looks cheap.
I think it looks cheap.
It's too well shot to look cheap, except for some of the visual effects.
Okay, so they put money on cameras.
Yes, and I did find like a behind the scenes clip that was on like some random Russian YouTube channel for some reason. Came out like 11 months ago. They had like an interview, like press kit thing. Okay. It is kind of funny because it was partially shot during the end of the pandemic, so there was a lot of like all of the like car scenes are shot in a studio with not green screen but rear screen projection, like old school.
Yeah.
The way you shot car scenes back in the day. Like, you know, James Bond looks like there's a screen behind him.
Yeah.
But now it looks better, of course. So, like, and there's a lot of scenes in cars. There's a lot of scenes of him driving. So they like, had, like, a couple of weeks in a studio in Los Angeles where he just got into different cars. He sat on the moped. And it's all just him sitting there with cameras locked down. And like screens showing different cities behind him. It was like, ugh.
Basically getting B-roll.
Yeah. Of all the stuff when he's driving. I was like, oh, so that's what they spend $100 million on? I'm like, what? I don't know.
No, I'm exaggerating, but like, there wasn't this, I'm comparing to other big movies, obviously.
No, there's not a lot of production.
There's no big,
value.
Expensive mansion or casino they walk into where there's like hundreds of people in fancy dresses.
Exactly.
And shit.
Yeah. There's no
extravagance.
Big extra scenes. Yeah. So movies are expensive, but almost 200 million. No, it can't.
On a bunch of empty houses and a few street shots.
Exactly. Let's take John Wick 4 because like, it's a similar movie, same year.
Honestly, I'm thinking of like Casino Royale.
Well, yeah. Well, that's older, so it's not going to be as expensive.
No, but you know what I mean. Like,
movie. Yeah, I know what you mean. But like, John Wick 4, huge movie. Like
so many actors, extras, locations.
Yeah.
Breaking shit.
And that movie cost half, or $100 million at least. $75 million less.
Yeah.
And that's for a 3-hour action epic. Like, what cost so much? I don't get it.
Is it David Fincher that costs so much?
Yeah, he's like, I want 50 million. No, because that might have changed now, but I know that like the highest paid actors and directors in Hollywood, I think, only get, of course, they get, residuals and stuff, but their base salary, so to speak, for, I'm going to make this movie, I want this much, is like 25 million.
Okay, so say that Michael Fassbender, Tilda Swinton, Charles Parnell, and Fincher got 20 each.
Yeah, that's 100 million.
Exactly.
So they spent $75 million on the movie, but then
that's extreme.
Yeah, you don't get $20 million for one scene.
No,
you don't.
No.
She probably didn't get a lot of money for it. Maybe $1 million.
Yeah, but like the only person who repeats and has more scenes is Michael Fassbender. So that's the only person that would make more. And
that's also a guy.
And then of course David Fincher.
I mean, I'm sure
Charles Parnell is only in technically one scene.
Yeah, and I know. This is super speculative here. But I know that Fassbender is, this was his first movie in 4 years, mainly because of the pandemic. But still, like,
sure,
he doesn't just do movies. I mean, he did do the X-Men movies, but I think he did the first one and then had to sign a contract. That's why he's in the rest of them, because it's not the kind of movies he makes. He makes, movies like Shame and, dramas like fucking...
he did do the alien shit, though.
That's true. Yeah, I guess.
But again, that might have been a contract.
Yeah.
Because he signed on for the first one, which seemed cool with the whole David shit.
Yeah. And then he had to make the second one, which
God damn it, you have to keep
even
going.
harder. Yeah. No, but yeah, so I don't think he's like, well, I want $20 million to make this movie. Because some of the movies he makes, that's like the whole budget. So I'm pretty sure. But at the same time, I mean, it's his job, and I mean, he probably has like agents and stuff, so he probably got paid a lot for the movie. But I cannot imagine this costing $175 million.
No.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at more movies
struggling
from this year.
to understand that.
Yeah. Another movie. I have no idea of the quality of this because I haven't seen it, but it's a newer movie. It's a Marvel movie.
Hey, I completely forgot that he was in 300, by the way.
Yeah, well, that's before he was like famous. That was when he was still doing like bit parts. But yeah, he's the guy who said, "We'll fight in the shade."
Yeah,
he's cool. He's so cool. Oh, there's no budget for it. Of course not, Disney. I was looking up the Marvels since it's a recent movie.
Hey, what is the third Marvel's title? Because we have Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel. What's the third one? It just got stuck in my head.
It's Monica Rambeau.
But what's her Marvel title?
She doesn't have a Marvel title because she's just military or something. I don't know.
Oh, so it's not. Well, okay, that
she's the fighter pilot buddy from Captain Marvel, and she had some sort of role in WandaVision. I watched the first episode of WandaVision, but that was it.
Whatever. I was just like, because I saw the poster and in my head I just went, okay, so the Marvels means that they all have a different title. Marvel.
Yeah.
We have Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel. What the fuck is the third one?
She gets powers
Pilot
at
Marvel?
some point. I don't know, but she does get
Astronaut
powers.
Marvel?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, never mind. That was a sidetrack.
Oh shit! That's Yo-Yo from They Clone Tyrone.
It is?
Yeah, the hooker.
Cool.
Huh.
I'm still not gonna watch it.
No, please God. No.
I am, however, gonna round this up by asking you.
Yeah.
I need one more movie to watch for the Patreon episode, because I've watched Kate, I've watched Ballerina. I'm gonna talk about Ballerina and John Wick a lot in that episode.
Sure, yeah. We'll talk.
I want to have like another mid-tier assassin movie kind of thing.
Okay.
Oh, not mid-tier maybe, but
I know what you mean, like a regular contract killer movie. Problem is, and I'll say this on the podcast, so some people hear it and maybe judge me for it, but a lot of the contract killer movies I like are kind of trashy. Like,
sure.
I like the first Hitman Codename 47 movie, which most people hate. It's bad, but I think Timothy Olyphant is a good hitman in that. That's kind of where my love for Timothy Olyphant was born.
You did mention one when we talked earlier.
Yeah, the Merry Gentleman.
No, before that. Was it like a woman's name? Lucy? No.
Atomic Blonde?
Yeah, maybe that's the one I'm thinking of. Atomic Blonde.
That's more of a spy movie, though. She's not an assassin.
Okay, sure.
But great movie, but it's not an assassin movie. But it would fit into the John Wick kind of thing, I suppose. But The Merry Gentleman, I think it was really... I haven't seen it since like 2010, but I enjoyed it. It has a Metascore of 55. The Hollywood Reporter said, an edgy entertainment, comma. The movie also remarkably has the feel-good warmth of an old-time Irish film. Okay. A dark and lovely drama about the complications of human connections. That is Michael Keaton's impressive directing debut. Oh, he directed it. I didn't even know that. So that one, maybe, because that's the kind of story. Or if you want the perfect example of what I love in a contract killer movie, check out, is it called The Matador? The Matador.
Oh, yeah.
With Pierce Brosnan and Greg Kinnear. Because that is the perfect,
right?
Yes. That is the perfect, super slick contract killer who is slowly losing his mind because he's killed too many people.
Right.
And it's a comedy, thriller.
I keep thinking of like a Jason Statham movie, but I can't remember the name of it. Oh, The
Mechanic? I brought that up in my review.
Yeah.
That's where he plays...
That might be the one I'm thinking of.
He plays, he's super slick contract killer. He's called The Mechanic because he's very methodical about the ways he completes his jobs. And he lives in a secluded house in the bayou in Louisiana or something.
I think I've seen that one though.
It's fine.
Because it's the one with Ben Foster.
Yeah, it's one of those, like I mentioned, it's one of those B-tier action movies, but it does have Ben Foster.
Yes.
Which, it's not his greatest performance, but he's always
We haven't talked
great.
enough about him. He is one of our, at least my favorite actors of all time.
Oh, yes. I haven't seen him in a while.
That man is amazing.
He should be in everything. Yeah, he's
Yes.
so good. But unfortunately, his genius isn't recognized, so he has to keep making like bad movies to like pay the bills.
Yeah.
The last thing I saw him in was Medieval from last year. He's great, but the movie is eh.
Unfortunately. Oh yeah, last thing I saw him in was Warcraft.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, not for this discussion, but put this on your list. Check out Leave No Trace. That's one of the best movies I've ever seen. He plays a soldier, a retired veteran, who lives with his daughter, like out in the wilderness. It was like Thomasin McKenzie's breakthrough role.
That one. I haven't seen it yet.
It is
I'll add it to my actual
amazing.
watch list.
Check that out as soon as you can. That is amazing. If you want to talk about Ben Foster, not an assassin.
We're gonna do like a general discussion of assassin movies. I have a theory I need to talk to you about, and we'll save that for the Patreon episode.
Yeah.
Regarding the previous episodes we've done, so I'm just hinting it like that. So it's gonna come back to other assassin movies we've talked about.
Okay, sure. One I would recommend, I can't recommend it because I haven't seen it, but I know that was an inspiration, and it's for this movie, and it's part of the literally me genre, which this kind of falls into, unfortunately.
Okay.
It's a French movie from like the 60s called Les Samouraïs, which is about.
I was for some reason imagining you saying Leon. I was like, wait, you've seen Leon?
That's a good contract killer movie. Ooh, yeah, I like that one. Yeah. But
what did you say? The Samurai?
La Samurai. Yeah, it's also about a guy in bland clothing who walks around and he's super like, and he kills people for money. I haven't seen it, but it's one of those. It's also like a Sigma male grind movie, kind of, but proto because it was before.
Yeah, if I can find it, maybe I'll watch it.
Yeah, me as well. If I find it, I'll watch it, but I don't know. La Samurai.
But yeah. We'll do like a general talk on assassin movies and the whole what we want from them and what usually makes them good. Because I have my the points I want in an assassin movie to make it good.
Yeah.
But I think this have to be it because we've blabbered on for
hour and a half almost.
An hour and a half almost. Yeah. About a movie we thought was mid, more or less.
Yeah, but there's the thing. There was things to talk about, and it's something we have to discuss because it's so baffling that David Fincher would make a mid-movie. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But hey, we'll continue the discussion on Patreon.
Yes, we will. So, that's going to have to be it. Thank you so much for listening. What is your opinion on The Killer? Have you watched it? Leave a comment. If you're listening to this on YouTube, leave a comment in the comment section. Otherwise, check out our socials.
Yeah, you can comment on the Insta post or on Twitter or X or whatever it's called.
At the Spoilercast. I am my Twitter is our Twitter basically, which is at please don't make a scene. If you want to check us out there, leave a comment.
Links are everywhere.
What you thought of the movie. And also check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene for more stuff. But that's it until next week. And until then. Have a good one.
Yeah,
bye. The Spoilercast is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It's produced and directed by Tobias Vedén and hosted by Tobias and Rebecca Vedén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén. I also want to give a huge shout out to all our patrons over on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. Danny Del Gaiso, Christopher Billén, Laura Kinney, Mom, Dad, and CK85.